Good morning, everyone. So it is still connecting. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So today being the question answer round, let us start with that so we can cover as many questions that we want to cover. So who has the question for? And I request each one of you to have questions related to our topic of the week. We dealt with death and moving beyond the fear of death. We understood what death is, everything. So it will be better if we continue with the same topic. Yes, Gauri, can you please unmute yourself and
Good morning, Sangeeta ji.
good
I
morning.
actually had a question for you.
Can you just
Which
switch on your camera, please?
actually, Sangeeta ji, I don't have Wi-Fi, so my bandwidth it'll glitch if I.
Okay, 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 no problem. You tell me.
Sangeeta ji, basically, I wanted to know, that this fear of death that you say, right? Like, I have closely watched people literally like have this fear of death, and especially when it's family and when you interact with these people who have fear of death every day, but at the same time when you intend that I wish I could do something for them, I wish I could, like, maybe they were seeking healing, and I feel a part of you, when it's your family member, a part of you wants them to feel better, but they just can't get out of that fear, and you see that damaging their health further and further, especially when you're on the extreme side of age, where you're above 60, 70, whatever, you see that degenerating them faster. So is there something you can, like, do to, like, maybe you can't improve their health, but there is definitely that thought that I do want them to die with like some grace or contentment or something like that. So is there anything you can do for yourself, for themselves, like?
Okay. So the biggest gift what probably you can give your loved ones is really understanding death and releasing the fear of death. That was the main reason we took it last week also, because see, number one, what they are going through and the family members feeling helpless about it, that I can't do anything, because each one wants to be healthy. But again, it is a choice people have. Like, so their soul has chosen to live their life in a particular way. Many times because either they are unaware that the life is all about the choices and the options we have. And many times people get very stuck in their habits, so much used to in their habit, they are unwilling to change their own thought patterns. Until now, probably there were not even easier tools to do that. In India, our heritage is we have a lot of religions and like we follow a lot of religious philosophies. So meditation we believe in, but something which is a simpler tool where I can release the memories which is keeping me in that stuck energies, it was not there. So what religions is telling you to move on, like always how we say, कर्म किए जा and फल की अपेक्षा मत रखो और गुस्सा मत करो, यह मत करो. But the reality is there any tool how I do that? Yes, they do give us the tools that, you meditate every day, you go for a satsang. But probably at the cellular level, what is stored, we do not know how to come out of it. So I think, Gauri, the biggest thing right now, what you can do is this entire week videos. If your loved one can listen to it, that would be great. From day one, day two, like it develops a different mindset and understanding. And this downloads or even using the B technique helps a lot to come out of that zone. And I have worked with clients, like, because when we work with ICU patients and all, so many times, majority time, it is the fear of not knowing, fear of unknown. What happens after death? I do not know. and
Okay,
that
right.
they remain in that particular state. The minute you explain, the minute you help them out, there is like it's a very peaceful state in which the client goes through. So I think if
Okay.
you do that, that would be really great.
Okay. I think that's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, please make them listen. If they don't understand, even on the Facebook, you can ask questions, you can ask, like, on the group also. But ideally, start asking it on the Facebook. Even your remarks, if you guys on the Cesta Healing Facebook, if you put it, it would be great because many more people get the answer. We are
Right.
reaching to a bigger mass. So when we are reaching to a bigger mass, it is like much more helpful. Like everyone's mindset changes, then I think it's the whole mass consciousness shifting. And when the mass consciousness shifts, that is what it comes back to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much. That
Gauri.
was
Thank you for
amazing.
asking because I think that question majority people have. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Uh,
Celebrity, we have a
who?
question in the chat box.
Okay. What is that question? Can you just
Uh,
read it?
it's Suchitra Narayanan.
Yeah.
How can one help keep negativity at bay? So one can live a life without fear, and death will redeem one from the next life.
So, okay, Suchitra. Suchitra Narayan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Suchitra. Everyone wants to live without fear, and the current research is showing that the fear of death and fear of loud noise are the only two fear we human beings are born with. And again, there are research which is going on like abroad. People create the glass floor and make child walk to see that whether it is an inborn fear or people are actually how the mother reacts and the child gets that fear. So there are times they have done the researches and they have seen that when the child is crawling and it gives an illusion that there is a cliff and the child is going to fall down. If the mother there is gets into that mode, it that emotion impacts the child. What I meant to say is that majority fear that we have, including the fear of death, is what we have acquired in our lifetimes. It is the fear of the unknown more than the fear of the death because you really do not know. So, what answer I gave to Gauri, it is the same thing. When we understand death from a different perspective, it automatically starts shifting and changing because when your intuition is up to a level, when you can connect to that divine space, you allow yourself to move out of the fear zone. Apart from that, majority time these fears are stored in our cellular structure. So ideally, when you will ask yourself this question that how does this fear serve me? What is the benefit I am getting by that? And do I require to be in that benefit for me to remain or like to grow up in life? For example, if you say that to a child, what do we teach? If you will touch the fire, you will be burnt. If you do that, I will call this. If you do that, I'll call up the teacher and complain. Human mind knows how to move on only with two mechanisms, and one is the reward, one is the punishment. Fear is associated with the punishment mechanism. So majority time, unknowingly, we create the punishment mechanism. What does we do? Like even in our normal philosophies, if I have done that, my karma, I have to suffer. I'll be punished. आप नरक में जाओगे आपने ये किया तो ये होगा where it's a very simple thing. The divine cannot be a punishing energy. Who is that energy who is deciding it for you, whether what you did is right or wrong? So fear is coming out of fear is a huge introspection that it requires, and to come out of that, do I require to have the fear of not being burnt, to not go near the fire, or I have the awareness that fire is something I can avoid? And that's the same thing we do all the time. We taught it to a child, but in different aspect of our life, we fear people, we fear their reactions, we fear the judgments, we fear society, we fear authority, we fear people rejecting us, we fear when we have a view that we say and people will reject it. But do I really require that all the time? It's a self introspection journey, and again I come back to the same point. Friends, it requires you to have the know-how of having the tools. Yes, I was a very fearful person. If I look back 20 years back, I was a very fearful person. It would impact me a lot if people will not appreciate the something which I have cooked. If people will not appreciate, if my curtains are not matching, if this is not there, it will give me migraine. Why people can be rude to me, why they didn't talk to me nicely, why this happened. And probably I think every day I would work on myself. Why do I require that thing? And then I would be doing downloads on myself. So that learning changed the way in which I started handling those things, gradually to realize it does not have any more power on you. You have taken charge of your life. When you take charge of your life, automatically death is simply a part of your life. It is not separate. It is an experience when you are going through a transition. I mentioned even in the day one class, it is life after life. It is not life, death. No, nothing stops. It is you are changing a form. So death is an integral part of the life. The fear of death, when you will embrace life, you know how to handle life, will automatically disappear. I hope that answers. And I genuinely request each one, like, invest time, invest into yourself. You are worth it. And this will remain with you life after life. Yes, like who is, I hope that answers your question, Suchitra. Who is next?
We have another question. Actually, we have two-part question by Divyashri. First question is, when do we stop taking rebirths? When does this cycle of death, birth, recycle end? And the second question is, what happens if no rebirth to the soul? If there's no rebirth to the soul.
Okay. So whose name you said?
Divya.
Divya, right? Yeah. So, hi Divya. Each one of us are constantly focusing on to stop the cycle of rebirth. So before I explain when does it stop, I want to ask you a question. Why do you want it to stop? Is there anyone answer? If she is not answered, I will say majority time we all have a very strong notion that nirvana or moksha, or stopping the death and life cycle, is the ultimate thing we require to achieve. Or Kavita is saying because life is suffering. So problem is this belief that life is a suffering. Again and again, I'm coming back to the same point. Life is not suffering. Life is what we create out of our life. And if I think, how many of us knows what will happen when my death and life cycle will stop? Okay, I am one with the light. I am at peace. Can I not get that state even now? Don't you enjoy when a small child smiles at you, when somebody makes you feel loved by? Don't you like there are moments when you are really thrilled and you are enjoying those experiences? Life is not suffering, life is beautiful. So, and again, people have a notion that we are so focused with our energy of detachment. What do I perceive? Nirvana, when I stop life and death cycles, my moksha is I detach with everything. So, what happens is people get most attached to wanting to detach. The irony of the life is what you really want. You are so much attached to, am I detached? Am I detached? Am I detached? And there is a difference between detachment and non-attachment. Non-attachment is you allow people to be who they are without you judging that they have to act in a particular way. You allow yourself to be who you are without constantly operating in your life with the labels or people's perception of you. So, first question when you will answer yourself, Divya, that why do you want to be in that state? Second thing, coming back to your main question, is why does the soul come down on the earth? When we all were the children of God, we had all the power that God has. I gave the story of those 4 children, how we utilized it. We created a pattern for ourselves. Our accounts have debit and credit. Whether the karmic obligations, karmic account, vows, oath, contracts, promises that we have given to ourselves, to others, to the divine. On a bigger platform, it is each one of us are connected with each other and having a contract with the divine that I will come down and I will do this part of the contract. So the soul is down here for 2 purposes. The soul learns through experiences. If every experience, positive or negative, that you go through, to move beyond the concept of good and evil, to move beyond the concept of positive and negative, when you just see it as a learning experience, COVID is negative, life is suffering. Rather ask yourself the question, what does my life is teaching me? Did I learn it? What do I require to do to learn and move on? What is COVID teaching me? Have I learned it? Did I make the change? Is it something which I have started taking action in my daily life? When everything, if your thought process is from the perspective of what is this thing teaching me? Have I learned it? Have I put it into action? Am I being aware of it? The soul automatically does not require so many lifetimes to learn it. Second thing, automatically that will give you an opportunity to finish your karmic imbalance. Because when you do positive karmas, even then, your soul needs to come back in the human form to attend and to experience the fruits of it. But when I start feeling that even if I did something positive, it's not me who is, for example, every day when I sit, I said, Divine, you speak through me and you will speak what this group requires. So I know nothing. If you think I know something, I know nothing. You all know what I know. Probably we are just sharing, and I'm allowing that divine to make me the facilitator because I really enjoy that experience. So probably it does not get me to that karmic imbalance, that the services I'm offering and I'm not getting anything in return, because that's the intent with which I'm sitting here. And coming to the negative karmas, it automatically, if we start seeing everything as an experience, that state of forgiveness, soul fragment, lot of that part start getting covered. When my soul doesn't have in my account book anything positive, negative pending, when my soul has evolved and my soul has learned through experiences, when my soul knows that I am that divine, when my soul knows that anything that is important is the qualities that I have, my attributes. It has nothing to do with outside. If anything which is my enemy, any suffering is my own calling. Probably I have nothing more to learn, nothing more to give, and nothing more to receive. And then there is no reason for my soul to be in the human form. And probably that's the time I have a choice. Even at that time, I have a choice. Do I still want to be in the human form and share that knowledge with people? Or I just say that I am done with it. I want to remain in the light. You guys continue. So that is the answer. That is probably the time, it stops. What was her second question?
Uh, it was, what happens if there is no rebirth to the soul?
Yeah, the soul remains with the light. It is the light which we go. Like even the ascended masters that we call, they all also we say are on the fifth plane. People say that currently the frequency of the earth is shifting. A lot of ascended masters say that, and they say that even the Buddha is like it's a reincarnation of lot of ascended masters. Why the reincarnation? Because if we human beings on the frequency of 0 to 100 were vibrating at the frequency of 3, and it's like if I'm sitting in a plane and I think that I am still, but the plane is moving at a very fast speed and I'm not realizing it. So it's like if on a highway, like all the cars are going in the fast speed and there's a bullock cart, you get obstructed by the bullock cart, so you rather help them out that please sit in my car and I will drop you. It's the same scenario right now. A lot of ascended masters are saying that is happening. So the ascended masters also reside on the fifth plane, what we say. The after that, all the laws come on the sixth plane, and then we become just oneness with that iridescent pearly light, which is simply an energy of pure love, pure light, and pure wisdom, and nothing else. There is no human being there. There is nothing. It's simply light, and we become light. And for that, like to deeply understand you, it's a very deep topic. I require to cover up the whole journey of the soul, which I teach in my past life class, or the 7 planes of existence, what we teach in basic and advanced level of theta healing, because that topic is quite vast to understand. So I am as brief as I can explain. I am giving the answer to you. Yeah.
We have 4, 5 questions on the chat.
Are they somewhere similar to each other? Then we can combine.
No. The first question is, please throw some light as to if humans are always born as humans or are they born as other species?
The humans are never born only as humans. Majority time, your journey starts in the crystal form where all the molecular structures are in one direction. Crystal don't die, but they have a lot of memories. And in every form of the crystal, you experience like before you become a human, you go through a lot of experiences to prepare you. It's like before you want to enter a cricket team, like you will be coached. The same thing. The second one will be in the form of the plants kingdom. Plants are very sensitive, they die. They prepare their own food. So you experience death there. Then you start your journey in the form of animals. Every animal has a particular attribute. In the form of a lion, you will learn how to be brave. In the form of horse, you will learn tiger, you will learn how to be like have the speed. Like everyone has a particular thing, and but they come as the soul group. You will never see one animal moving individual. So your journey starts there. And from there, once we have experienced all that qualities, like if I have been a snake, I know that snakes will not harm you till you don't harm them. But if you harm them, they will definitely show you. They will make you fearful. So it says that it's without. So animal format is also non-karmic. When a lion kills a rabbit, it doesn't generate karma. But when a human kills something, it generates karma. So from there, it's in the animal form. Then we are in the ancestral form. Majority time, our cycle is being in the ancestor to human, human to ancestor. Each time when we learn, we go back, report it to the like ascended masters. This is what I learned. And like once you master all of them, you have a choice in the human form to connect to the ascended master form. Master that, you be in a council, you help to design new universes. The way in which we have our earth, we have many, many more universes to decide rules and regulations. You have your own soul families. There is a council of 12, council of 24. From there, when you master that, you can be a law, you can be an element, you can be a star, you can be air, water, and finally light. And majority of this, like I'm not just saying because it is a bookish knowledge, but many times when I regressed, I have been to those forms, like to experience what those forms felt like, and many question answers that I had in that state. Many of my client, while giving a demo in the class, they suddenly say I'm air or water. Though, like technically, therapeutically, you deal it very differently, but what you experience, there is a lot of knowledge which comes from there. So we are in the different forms and we evolve from there. Yeah.
We have a lot of questions about the soul and how what happens to the soul afterwards, and where all, if we meet the same family in the seventh in heaven.
Okay, well, very quickly, because each question is something which needs little explanation. Yeah,
Yes.
so what is the question? What happens to?
One second. There are. There's so many questions. Does the soul retain its identity? Does it remain after death until it's reborn?
One sec.
And
So first, let me answer one question, otherwise I'll also forget the question. Does the soul retain its identity? In fact, the soul has different names and different forms. Many times we ask people to connect to and ask what is the soul's original name. Uh, Soul's identity is only one, what we spoke about, the pure form of joy and light. What identity you are talking about, the soul uh, gets impacted by what thought patterns, beliefs you have acquired at the time of death, what beliefs you are taking back in this entire life, what emotions did you store in your body. So you created a pattern with that, and that pattern is something which continues life after life. Again, whether you have asked or not, I'm giving it is again majority time with the same people. If you think that this particular set of people abused you, they were dominating, they were authoritative, if you did not learn from them to speak for yourself, again, many more lifetimes they will do the same thing to you because they come to teach you that lesson. So the soul has stored lot of set of beliefs which it carries life after life and which builds up our life after life. Ideally, with death, our soul connects to the light and it heals completely. There are times people go through in the lifetime without death, which we call experience where the soul gets broken. The how we have aura and auric space can have tear. That time the soul's energy also has tears in it. So we do like heal the broken soul energy to connect the person back to the force. Like in Theta healing, there is a process called heal the broken soul, which is a very, very powerful thing. And suddenly, what they were feeling very depressed, they were feeling I can't do anything, it shifts. Yeah, what is the next question? If I'll go on, these are the questions which needs a lot of explanation.
no, I
Yeah,
think you answered one more question. Where does the soul go after its death? You said that it merges with the
yeah,
light, and
it merges with the light.
uh, there's also a question which similar. Do we meet the same family in heaven? Which you said that we come as a group, and
Yeah, so even like because they've added the word heaven, yes, your ancestors are waiting on the fourth plane, and your ancestors come to greet you, like they come uh, to like, even take you many times. Your angels help you after the death. And uh, if you guys can read a book by Arti Raheja, where one is just not a number, and if possible, I will get her on the platform one particular day to read that story of how it's all oneness. It is not separate. It's not that this people, my family is only here. And Arti's story is that she was never a religious or a spiritual person, but she lost her, I think, 9 or 11-year-old son very suddenly. And then they went through a lot of experiences because the soul started talking and to realize that it is the oneness. And they started writing a book when she went to Meher Baba's Dargah. And then she lost her husband also. And when I got introduced to her from a client, he just said, you both of you need to meet each other. And he just said me one thing, that she's the happiest person I have ever met. And you guys need to meet her to know that she is actually a happiest person. One question which all of you may not have asked or may not, but like during the session, people who are very close to me, they asked me this question because there were time when I was talking about the death, but wearing the most colorful clothes. So they are like, you're talking about death and you're wearing such a high, bright color. Why are you wearing that? So the question is, whatever we have such an association with death and no colors in life. When I have to disassociate people from that, the first thing I have, what you are seeing, because if, say for example, if I would come every day sitting in the white color clothes, it constantly triggers certain memories. And white is a beautiful color. So there is an association which we make with everything in life. When we want to disassociate, probably we do something different. Where one is not a number by Arti Raheja. Yes. I will see if I can get Arti on the platform. I'll speak to her. Like a lovely human being, and it's like pure divine which speaks through her. Pure divine, like vibrant, energetic, beautiful person. I'll definitely like ask her and we'll get her on the platform.
We have
Yes.
many more questions, but would you like to take them on the WhatsApp thing? I can post all these
No,
in WhatsApp.
no, I mean, I
This
think
one,
rather we take it on Monday
Monday.
and rather than starting another topic, because this topic I don't want to live like half answered. And we will like continue with the same question answer because it's very important that each one clear their doubts about it. Otherwise, this topic of death will remain very incomplete for me. And I want each one to have that clarity. I'm fine answering, like, ask as many questions as you want to ask, but get that clarity within yourself totally and completely. I want each one of you to again, like during the weekend, go through the videos as many times. It's there on our YouTube channel of Cesta Healing. Please go through it. Like go through it many, many times. See what shift is happening in you. And for all of you whom I could not take your question, next week we'll continue the same journey because I want to answer all of the questions. And along with that, so next week, what we will do is we will take a question and then probably a download together. So it starts clearing it as well, because downloads are the things which actually helps you to shift it. I may understand it, but my body doesn't. So Preeti, your question is, when is the Hindi batch starting? We are figuring the best way out because when we started the English batch, I was very clear the days if I'm not available, like Richa can take over. I have many people in Cesta, my students, who can take over. Hindi, I do not know who will be able to take over and being able to speak in Hindi. So I do not want to commit and start something because it's a long term association, which then we may not be able to fulfill. So we are doing that. Meanwhile, on your own, you guys can connect to people and gather their names. That this many people are willing to do it, because probably based on that, like, I require to plan it in a way where it doesn't stop suddenly. And because everybody requires to understand to be able to speak in Hindi completely. So I am looking for somebody the days I am not there who can be my replacement here. Or it can be some Hindi meditations which we can put and do it. So, like, give me some time. I am figuring the best way out. I don't want to leave you guys halfway, promise something and then not being able to do that. So we are, trust us, we are doing our best to do, like, how to go about the Hindi thing. Even like my Gujarati is very good, my Hindi is okay, but I hope that okay Hindi is fine with everyone. So we will like start with Hindi very soon. We will do that. What is the best way? We will just see that. Recording, no, Amrita. Recording is not possible because when I speak, it's not something which I plan. I just come, I sit here, and I just start talking. It is not which I already have prepared a script. When I want to do the translation, I require to have a script. And my strength is my connection and my flow. So if I require to plan, in fact, that will take longer. And I believe in connecting with you people. So I want, like, it's your energy. So I think people who are present here, I every day my energy connects that what does this people require the most. And that is what comes out. Probably that's why we say that get more people here, because it is not like when you listen, you can listen to it afterwards, but what you require will come here. So thank you, Amrita, for your blessings. So thank you all. Whoever we could not answer, as I said, we will continue with it on Monday with the same question answer session. And wishing you all fabulous, happy, healthy weekend. Please take the time out to listen to the videos. And one more time, requesting all, India needs your donations. Cesta has taken the initiative. Please generously donate. There were 3-4 people from the group who yesterday did that, but there are many more. Imagine if each one of you do a part of you. It will give food to someone, it will give life to someone. And what you understood in the death topic is that it is just the energy, which the form which is changing. Money also you require to change the form. Please do part of you and take that 5 minutes time out and donate it. Please, your donation will save somebody's life. Your donation will give food to somebody's house. Your donation is really needed, and together we can do it. So please do that. I again like request all of you, please generously donate. You are not donating it to Cesta Healing Studio. You are donating it directly to Keto and Manav Sadhana organization. If you do it to Cesta, Cesta will be very obligated to you. Thank you so much. With lots of gratitude, I'm Sangeeta Shah, founder of Cesta Healing Studio. On behalf of Cesta Healing Studio and the team of Joining Hands, with lots of gratitude, I say thank you to all, wishing you all wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. See you all Monday, 9 o'clock. Thank you so much.